Hello, and welcome to the live review or review wherever you're watching, whether you're watching it live or after the fact. Chelsea won, Manchester City won. It is a result that is ultimately disappointing, but also, in hindsight, a good result that we would have been happy with if you would have said that we held them to a 1-0 lead up until the 81st, 85th minute, whatever it was. Either way, a good result and ultimately a good showing from Chelsea. If we can hold on to this now, this form, this style of play, this level of enthusiasm, this level of aggression until the Carabao Cup final next Sunday, then we should be in for a treat. But don't hold on too much hope. With that said, please do like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Pop the Clock. Well, I mean, what do we say? What do we say? I mean, first things first, realistically, we could have been 3-2, 3-4-0 up at half time. We didn't really take our chances too well. Sterling could have had a brace before half time. I still, we'll get into it in just a second, but I don't quite understand why he was substituted off so early. Yeah, it's a frustrating one, but in theory, in essence, it is a good sign that we are disappointed with a draw, given the fact that we haven't won at the Etihad. Well, we didn't win the game, but we haven't got a result against Man City at the Etihad since 2016. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming, and following that 4-4 draw at Stamford Bridge back in November, it doesn't really... It doesn't come as too much of a surprise that we came and showed up today. It was a bit of a surprise in that I think everyone, including myself, kind of counted us out before the fact. And we really showed everyone that, hey, we've still got something in. There's still something there. There's still something there. I was saying at some point in the stream that Pochettino was arguing that you can't expect a Chelsea side of the quality of 25 years ago. I would even argue that Pochettino would have been able to say, like, you don't expect something of 3-4 years ago, but that was a performance of 3 or 4, maybe even 2 years ago when we won the Champions League against Manchester City. Against all the odds. That was what this game felt like. We frustrated Man City. You saw the likes of Haaland pushing the camera away in disgust because he thought, hey, I should have got at least a goal there. I've just seen the replays. And, he was I'd say unlucky, but it just didn't seem like Haaland's day today in terms of putting it away. He had plenty of chances. Jeremy Doku was running rampant down that left-hand side or our right-hand side. Malo Gusto, for the most part, seemed like he was holding fort very, very well. But ultimately, and I keep saying the word ultimately, but ultimately, it's Pochettino who, as clear as day, cost us the win. Maybe. I don't know. Would we have carried on the lead if we'd kept Palmer on, kept Sterling on a little later, if he'd make better substitutions, putting on Nkunku up top when we know if he goes up top in this situation, we're basically down to 10 men because he just doesn't really make too much of an impact when he is that man up top. When we're looking for, we weren't even looking for the goal. Let's be fair. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. We weren't looking for a goal when Nkunku came on. We brought him on to I guess rest Palmer, rest Sterling, but the substitutions, they stank. They really did. Casadei coming on, we conceded right after that. Trevor Chalobah was the one that it deflected off to go in for the goal. The goal was You could smell it. It was coming a mile away. It was always coming. But I do think we could have held on just a little bit more. I think that the ultimate disappointment is that the win was there. It was there. I think we could have held on if we just carried on playing the way that we were when Sterling and Palmer was both on. I think we could have come away with maybe the victory. I don't know. And I'm not sitting here disappointed at the fact that we've come away with a draw. Obviously, it's a fantastic result. Again, in hindsight, a draw would have been fantastic if you would have said to me this morning that we would be holding them 1-0 with a 1-0 lead up until what minute was it? The 83rd minute, and that their only goal that they scored was a deflected goal. I don't know what I would have said to you. I don't know what I would have said to you, but what I would say to you now is that it was a fantastic performance from everyone involved. I would argue that maybe Palmer didn't have the best of games, that Caicedo should have been substituted. He should have been the one to go off. Colwill was a little shaky. Chilwell still didn't have too brilliant of a game, but ultimately, again, I say ultimately, but Jackson, when he was on the wings, he looked good. He looked good. We shouldn't be putting him as the front man. He's so much better on those wings, on those flanks. He's so much better as a provider rather than a player that scores goals. Disassi, as Reggae's showing, as Reggae's saying in the chat, Dan, and a few other people, Disassi, clutch player in terms of some of the saving headers that he put in. He put in an absolute shift and a half. Gusto, unbelievable down the right-hand side. I thought Petrovic, I've just seen he's got a booking, but brilliant saves from him. Haaland, we kept him at bay. And I think, yes, we'll be disappointed with the draw, but the fact that we're sort of clamoring, we're really scraping for the fact that we should have got the win is a sign that we really showed character. We really played well. And again, if we can play anywhere near as good as we did today against Liverpool on Sunday, then I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going to be okay. I'm not going to for 1 second predict that we're going to win. But if we put in a performance like that, then Sunday should seem a little less painful, should I say. A little less painful if we lose. If it's 1-0, if it's 1-1 and we lose on penalties like we always do at Wembley in the Carabao Cup against Liverpool, which seems to be the final every single season, who knows? But a bit of passion, like Luke's just said in the chat, in the live stream, if we show a bit of passion, a bit of enthusiasm, a bit of energy, that we might just come away with a win. We might just come away with a bit of silverware in a season that has otherwise been an absolute shit show from start to finish. We're starting to show a bit of momentum. And again, I look at the results that we've had over the last couple of weeks or so. We've gone back-to-back defeats against Liverpool and Wolves, 4-1, 4-2, but then we've gone 3-1, 3-1 wins, and a 1-1 draw. That's 5-5 now against Manchester City in 2 games that they're arguably still, even with the table looking the way that it is, which is Liverpool with 57 points, Arsenal with 55, Manchester City with 53. They've still got a game in hand over Liverpool, so if they go on to win it, who cares? But we're in 10th still, but we're a point better off than we were expecting to. 42 goals scored, 41 goals conceded, 10 wins, 10 losses, 5 draws. It's still a mess. It's still a mess. And I think, weirdly, it's never been as definitive as it is right now that Pochettino was to blame, not is to blame overall. in essence of the whole season, but in terms of what could have been in this game, I think Pochettino got a little bit overexcited. I think that he could have held on a little longer with the players that he had on the pitch before he made those substitutions. I mean, if we look at the substitutions that we made, they were made in the 64th minute, which in any other game, an hour gone, you'd be like, come on, make a substitution. But we were happy with how it was going. And Nkunku coming on didn't make sense as the first substitution. If you're going defensively, what are you doing? It doesn't make sense that we brought him on if we're going defensive, unless we're going for the goal. But we weren't going for the goal. We were going defensive. We were going to try and park the bus. And then Chalobah and Casadei was just such a strange one. Neither of them have played for Chelsea all season. If Trevor Chalobah has played this season, I don't remember. But ultimately, again, just poor decision-making. And I think he got a little bit too excited, a little bit too nervy, a little bit too shaky, that we were going to let it slip. But a result nonetheless. And I will look at these comments a little later on. Please do comment after the fact when the stream does end. And again, please do like the stream. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. I will let you know if I'm going live a little later on for some gaming streams. It's very likely, but I need to do some editing for the highlights and all so on and so forth. But with that said, thank you for watching. Chelsea won, Manchester City won. A good result nonetheless. Maybe in like an hour's time or so, Luke. But again, thank you for watching. All the best. My name is Harry Up the Chelsea, and peace.